What is up, guys? This is CJ, aka the Lone Wolf, coming to you here from the Wolf's Cave. And I gotta say, man, the World Cup is cooking. You know, the fact that it's in America, it's amazing. Um, there's just there's just a lot of I don't know. There's just a lot of things that are happening. I mean, all cultures, different people, different experiences are all here in this country. The United States, Mexico, and Canada. And it's been amazing. I actually got to go to a World Cup game as well too. I can't see Levi Stadium because apparently they covered Levi's and just kept the stadium. It's a FIFA thing. I don't know what that's all about. But I went to Santa Clara and I went to the game. My God, there's so many fans. There's like thousands to 10 thousands of fans. It's like going with a group to a concert. It was incredible. Now, I regret not going maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a couple of hours earlier, because apparently the fans already had their pregame stuff going. I mean, it was just incredible. But I still got to go there. Got to get a couple of souvenirs. Unfortunately, I didn't get a hat, but I did get this. I got this scarf with USA, Mexico, and Canada all like this. It's pretty awesome. You know, I got to see a few people that were from different countries, whether it's Switzerland or Brazil, like different kinds of countries. But yeah, it was pretty awesome, and I'm glad it wasn't just Qatar and Switzerland. You know, just being at the game. There was like Brazil fans, Argentina fans. Of course, there was plenty of Mexico fans that were over there. USA fans, of course, were coming in waves. There's definitely going to be much more coming in waves next month, since USA did qualify for the knockout stage pretty easily. Yeah, it was just an incredible amount of fans of different kinds from different places, different countries. It was incredible, man. I would love to do something like this again. This was definitely a fun experience. So I'm on here. I wish I could have talked about this after game one, but I feel like this is right after game two. Game three starts tomorrow morning and it's gonna go real quick. It's gonna be a 4 day run before the playoffs start on Sunday. I'm on here because I'm a scenario guy and I love scenarios. And this is what we got here. So before I explain these scenarios, I'm just going to go through this with you real quick on the current situation of the standings as we're getting into the last one. So you see here the yellow, the orange, and the red. Yellow is the teams that have qualified for the knockout stage. It hasn't said that they won. There is three teams, I believe, three or four teams that have won their group already before game three. That's the US, that's Mexico, and that's Germany. I think Norway and France, they're going to decide who ends up qualifying. If it ties up, then I think Norway qualifies. But either way, if France, Norway, whoever wins Group I. Argentina already qualified. I think they still got to play. I'm still trying. I'm trying to remember who. I think they still got to play Austria, and I think if Austria wins, they win the group. Otherwise, if Argentina at least ties, they win. And then Colombia, they already qualified as well too. So if they at least tie, they win the group. So that's how these scenarios play. And then you're seeing this in orange. We have Canada playing Switzerland to see who wins the group. Brazil, Morocco already played each other, so this scenario is going to get pretty wild in how this plays out because it's going to come down to points. Unless Morocco or Brazil lose, then one or the other is going to win the group and get the nice spot for it. Egypt, and here's where we get to this one. Here's where we get to this one. I want to be very clear on the explanation for it. For the teams that are in orange, including this, they're considered as a qualified team. Now, Canada, Switzerland pretty much sealed the deal. Brazil, Morocco about the same as well too, depending on the situation. Now, the teams that are in orange, they have at least 4 points. 4 points will most likely get you into the knockout stage, even if you're in third place, because it's a small percentage that teams in third place will be able to qualify with about 3 points, and to an extent, 4 points, depending on how many third place teams end up with 4 points. But if you have at least 4 points, you are considered to advance until said otherwise. Um, so this is why I got teams right here, including the Netherlands, Japan, which they already played each other and tied, Egypt, Spain, England, Ghana, which they already played and and tied as well too. And then you got Portugal that still has to play a game, which they, I believe, face against Colombia. So yeah, this is where it's going to get really interesting in seeing how this whole thing plays out. If they end up in third place with about 4 points or so, most likely they will still get into the knockout stage. But it all is based on scenarios. The ones that weren't highlighted are not eliminated, but also haven't qualified. For the ones that have won, they have to win. If they don't, if they draw, they're done. There's no way a team with 1 point is going to qualify. Do you see how many of these teams have like 3 points? Teams that have two that still have a chance to get in, unless they're in some sort of way, in some sort of chaotic fashion that they lose and don't move a spot. It's a very, very, very small percentage that a team with 1 point is going to qualify. Even 2 points, it's really hard to make of it. But all depends on what's going on in the other groups. But yeah, otherwise, if they're not highlighted, they're not knocked out, they're not eliminated, but they also haven't qualified as well too. Teams with 3 points for now have a shot to get themselves into the bid for a knockout stage, or if they win outright, then they qualify. That's how it works. For the teams that are in red, they're done. They're eliminated. We have all pretty much all of them that didn't get a point. They're done. Easy. Now, except Group I, they have two teams that have no points, but they can still make a bid for the third place spot in the knockout stage if they win. If they tie, they're both done. That's how it works. Senegal and Iraq cannot tie. One of them has to win. Okay, so this is what we currently have. I just feel like these last matches in Game Three is going to have some sort of chaos because the third place is going to play huge into it. So before I even talk more about what has happened from the first two games of you know 24 matches each, which is 48 matches in total that we have gone through. I'm going to go through the scenarios for these teams that are currently in third place or teams that are trying to get into a spot even if they finish third place. So here's the scenarios. For some teams, they're going to tie. It's possible there's going to be teams with 3 points. There's going to be some teams with 4 points. This is where the tiebreakers come in. So then they can find out who these qualified 8 teams that are in third place can qualify for the knockout stage. Here is how it plays out. So some of them tie, they go through their tiebreaker scenario in order. And I've had to double check, triple check, quintuple check. I had to do everything possible for it. And this is pretty much what I got. So this comes down to the points earned in all group matches. So there could be some teams with 4 points. There could be some teams with 3 points. It depends how many have it. If there's some teams with 4 points, they make the one scenario. If there's a few teams with 3 points and there's still a few spots left for that third place spot to qualify, then they qualify. Now, in that sense, when that all plays out to where the tiebreakers need to be made for the 4 pointers and 3 pointers, they go down the goal difference. So this is what I have, I believe, right here. So right at this very moment, I think the point differential. I think this is it. This is the point differential, right? I had to do everything possible just to make sure I have everything for it. Okay, so we have the point differentials. So they will go down the line of point differentials to kind of separate a little bit of confusion off of it. So if there's like a few teams out there that scored 7 points and allowed probably like 2, 3 points, they'll have a +4 differential that may be better than some other teams. That gives them a higher possibility of qualifying into the knockout stage. And then for some teams, they might have +2, +1, 0, -1, -3. And as I said before, you want to be that team that if you lose, you don't want to give up many points because you'll still be in a good spot of trying to get yourself in. But if you're that team who's given up like 7, 8 goals or something and you're in third place at this point, most likely you're not going to qualify. So I know this is pretty hard to see for some of you. I'm going to have some of this on, I might have a few of this on social media if I even bother with it. But if you see right here, like Czechia, Bosnia Herzegovina, Scotland, Paraguay, those third place teams, if you see the negatives in there, that is not good. You do not want to be that team that ends up with a point differential negatives that puts you in a difficult spot of trying to qualify for it. But here is also the thing. If a few of the teams that have already qualified that didn't go through this type of scenario, and you have a few ties with teams with like the same negatives, then at least you got a lucky break. You still have a chance to make it. It all depends on the situation of it. So if it still sticks to where it is, we got goals scored. So pretty much what they're saying is they just want to see the points that have been scored throughout the group stages. And there's teams out there that has, and let's see. Okay, here we go. There might be some teams in third place that has like 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, or hell, if they're lucky enough, they probably got 5 points, 6 points, and they end up in third place, and they somehow were able to make up the difference. But it's very small to see it. It really is very small to see it. But if you're that high scoring team that's given up a lot of points and you're in third place and you somehow made it through those two scenarios, you have a high chance of actually qualifying for these last bit spots um, in third place to make it to the knockout stage. Now, that's a very, very small percentage for that to even be possible. But if you have a team like Sweden, like I said, if you've been scoring a lot of points, but you've given up a lot of points, I mean, even then, if you're able to make the tiebreaker this far to get to that scenario, you got a high chance, and that's where Sweden can play themselves into it. Now, if all scenarios just happens to still play through, and each team has cleared in this tie, and there hasn't been no tiebreakers up to this point. This could be two teams. This could be rarely three teams down. Then they play into how many yellow cards and red cards have been accumulated together. Now they base this stuff on points. So if you get a yellow card, you get 1 point, and that's not good. If you're a team that got red card, there's this weird thing to where some teams who get a red card like straight up, you give up 3 points. And then for some reason, what I read was if you get a straight up, oh, okay, I'm getting this mixed up. So if you get a red card, basically, if you get like two yellow cards that ends up in a red card, that's considered 3 points. Now, if you get a straight up red card for kicking somebody in the head with the cleats with spike first, you get a major red card, which is pretty much 4 points, and you do not want to be in that situation. I don't know if that's the scenario of it because when I looked on ESPN, they're doing it straight up 3 points for a red card. So I'm going off of what ESPN has for it. So a yellow card is 1 point, a red card is 3 points. And this is what I kind of like calculated up just to see, okay, what's been going on. If it really did come down to a tiebreaker in third place, and this is pretty much it, which could most likely be it. They're going to base this on their their discipline during the game, and if you accumulated any cards during that time. So, for example, and I'm not saying South Africa is going to get in because they still have one. Wait, hold on. Sorry. I don't want to get it mixed up. Yeah, I was right. So, 1 point. So, let's just say this South Africa out of nowhere gets in the third place. And rarely this happens. And somehow the 2 pointers are still alive, still trying to figure this out. And they go all the way down to the fair play scenario, having to make it a part of okay, who has the least amount of points for them to qualify. There is no way in hell South Africa is getting in. No way in hell. You see how many points is right there? You see that? 10 points. And yes, no, they were pretty chaotic in the first two games, especially against Mexico. Holy crap, man. They lost two players to red cards. No way in hell they're going to qualify. If you're that team right now, not happening. Qatar also happens to be a part of it. Paraguay happens to be a part of it. Bosnia Herzegovina, they're also a part of it. Curacao also has that much. Belgium, be careful, Belgium. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, you might be on hard times if you do not win a game coming up. Yeah, if you have that much and you're in that scenario for it, for a tiebreaker, no way in hell you're going to be able to qualify. You're pretty much done from there. So you have to win in order to get in. You do not want to be in third place if you have that amount of points for what I'm going to say bullshit for it. Okay, so if out of nowhere nothing has been figured out. And at this very point, you have two teams for just that eighth spot to get into the knockout stage, and they're still trying to figure everything out. They're going to go based on FIFA World Rankings. At this very moment, right before the tournament started, they came out with the last World Cup FIFA rankings, or last FIFA rankings before the World Cup. And this is what I had to put together for it. So these are, from what I have taken away from, these are the current rankings prior to the World Cup starting. So you got this: Mexico's ranked 11, South Korea's ranked 24, Germany's ranked 9, and all that. These are pretty much the rankings that these teams have. So if it came down to that point, these teams are currently in third place. They went through every scenario. Well, FIFA has gone through every scenario, still have two teams tied up to this very moment, even with the card play. They will go to the rankings. Whoever has the highest rankings will qualify to get into the last spot to go to the knockout stage. So now, with that being said, you got these five teams with 3 points. Now we're going to go down a little bit more to see, okay, who is left. We're basing it off of rankings. We're not going to take every scenario. It's going to come down to rankings. Then we have these two. Oh, this is perfect. We have these two that have 2 points. So they get in. Now, we come down to the teams that has at least 1 point. If today we're doing the knockout stage, unfortunately, Senegal's not going to get in. They do not have a point, so they're eliminated. You got Congo, you got Ecuador, you got Czechia, and you got Bosnia. So if it all came down to it, and they've gone through every scenario possible, and they're still tied up, there is no tiebreaker up to that very point. Whether it's point differential, whether it's points scored, whether it's fair play, if they all have the same points for cards, right? They come down to rankings. So let's go through this. So Congo is ranked 43. Bosnia is ranked 65. They're eliminated. And then you got Czechia. They're ranked 44. Unfortunately, they're one below Congo if it were to end today. Holy crap, this sucks. This sucks. Czechia was just one rank below Congo. It's like college football pretty much. So unfortunately, Czechia is eliminated. And then you have Ecuador. Up to this very point, Ecuador is ranked 30th, Congo is 43. Unfortunately, they don't get in because they're ranked lower than Ecuador. So Ecuador ends up capping the last spot in the round of 32. Here we go. So these are the scenarios that FIFA has pretty much cooked up together since they expanded to 48 teams and wanted to make it 32 teams playing in the knockout stage instead of 24. So going into the last going into the last few days of the group stage, man, it's going to be very interesting. It's it's just something I'm looking forward to. Like this is one of my best days coming up because I want to see how this whole thing plays out. Now, before I cap things off, these are the games that's left that has a situation played into. So for the teams that are highlighted, if they're highlighted in yellow, they already qualify. If they're highlighting in green, they're considered. If they're highlighted in red, they're done. I wanted to put the highlight in orange, but they didn't have that as an option for it. So this is what I got for it. For some of these games, this is definitely going to come down to if the teams can actually qualify to get in, or at least be considered to get in, or if they're trying to stave off elimination by spoiling another team just to help themselves out, or help another team that's in the same group that's trying to qualify or at least try to win the group stage for it. So this is what we have here. Some of the teams that are even highlighted next to each other in green are the ones that are trying to win the group. There are teams that are, I'm trying to see if we got that. Yeah, these are teams that are highlighted in yellow that already qualified, but then we're going to find out to see, okay, who actually wins the group outright. Like Norway and France is the only team that has it because they were able to win their first two games. Now they're going to cap off with that being pretty much the best matchup to watch. Now, I I've read up enough. I read up on enough World Cup history to know when both teams have qualified, they'll usually do a handshake and just bullshit the entire game. This has happened before. Mostly the European teams are the ones doing it because it's like, well, bro, I'm in, you're in. Do we really need to like compete that much and that hard against each other? Like, I don't think we want to risk it. They'll just, play the game, pass the ball around, maybe make it entertaining, but probably not put in enough effort because they know they both qualified. And for all we know, either team has nothing to lose because they've proven that they're that good. So yeah, for teams that are trying to compete to get in and they're in a desperation while the other team has already qualified, they may have to bribe them a little. And I'm not saying it has happened before, but it's possible it may have. Like that's the only way they can convince a team like, hey, maybe take a game off a little bit and give us a chance to get in. You already qualified, you have nothing to lose. Even if you lose a game, you're not losing a spot. You already have a spot. And that's what FIFA did this time around with 48 teams. Like no matter what, you're in your spot, you know who your potential matchup is going to be, or maybe they want to botch their win because they know, well, we're going to play this team. We don't want to deal with them. This team right over there that's like coming out of their group with a win, they're not that good. We're willing to go into second place just to play that team instead. That could come down to it. I mean, this is soccer. This is what soccer is all about. It all comes down to matchups. It's not just about winning your group and just feeling like you're the best team, like France has proven, Argentina has proven. I think Germany at this point might be a threat. They apparently every time they're in the top 10, they usually have a chance to win it all. And I hate hearing this. I hate saying this as well too, but they're in the top 10. They already won their group before the third game. They might win it all. Who knows? But yeah, it, all these scenarios and stuff for this situation, it could all work out. It probably won't. There might be even some chaos. Teams that has like 4 points already at the top of the group stage, it's not going to be guaranteed. They might end up losing to a team that has 2 points. They might end up jumping over them and winning that group. There's going to be teams out there that's below them that still has a shot to win the group, probably realizing or not realizing the consequences behind it, good or bad. But again, some of these games in this last one in their groups is still wide open. I don't know what's going to happen, but this has been one of the better World Cups I've gotten to watch um this season. Like I've watched World Cups in the past, but it hasn't been this entertaining like this one. Now, you guys may have heard about I guess the amount of points being scored, which is great to know. But it's because they added 16 more teams. That's why there's more points being scored in the games. That's a discrepancy, man. Like That's a discrepancy. And then soon, for all we know, they're going to go up to 50 teams. And then they're going to say, oh my God, there's been a lot of points scored in this World Cup, even better than the last one in the US. It's because there's more teams playing. So, I mean, come on. All right. Yeah, before I cap things off, I did have some of the stuff like marked down. Like outside of this one, I have these. Our current top scorers, I haven't even updated for Colombia. I don't know if they already have a player that scored like 3 points. All I know is they scored like one, two. Let's see. I didn't even update that. Oh well. But yeah, anyway, we got these top five individuals with the highest scores so far. I know Cristiano Ronaldo was trying to go for it. I think Portugal was doing everything possible to give him a shot for it. Didn't happen, unfortunately, but hey, they were able to bounce back and win this game. But of course, we got Messi at the top. I mean, he's carrying this team. All the points that Argentina has right now, that guy right there is the one carrying. Is that a good thing? I don't know. What if Messi doesn't score? I'm not going to go far into that one. I could talk about it before the knockout stage, but we'll see if I have time for it. Erling Haaland. Yeah, the hype was real. I actually believed it, and he actually showed up. I mean, a local star, a well-known international star that did not play in the World Cup until now. The last World Cup, I was kind of wondering what country he was from. I didn't know much about his history behind it. I didn't know he played for Norway. I wish Norway could have played the last World Cup. It would have been nice to see what Holland looked like as young as he is from that point. Um, Mbappe, I mean, doing the same thing like he did before. He could have had more points if it wasn't for the rain delay. That was crazy with that 1 to 2 hour rain delay, man. I felt like the guys were saying, "Nah, we're not going to give you that opportunity because we want Messi to be successful." So Mbappe's not going to get that much of an opportunity. I think he may. No, I think he has three. The last time I checked, he did have three. Um, Dennis Undov. I don't know how to pronounce it. I know I have a coworker who's German, so I can ask her sometime about that. But yeah, out of nowhere, Germany. This guy, this guy's leading the team in points, and he came off the bench. That's something you do not hear a whole lot often. So again, maybe Germany could win it all. Watch out for this kid. If he's the one scoring off the bench, man, oh my God, this could be a problem. And then John David of Canada. Canada should be happy about that. Not only did they get their first win, but man, they murdered. they murdered Qatar, something that Switzerland couldn't do. And I was at that game too. It made no sense how they couldn't do it. But yeah, we're here now. Teams with no goals up to this point, and you see the ones in red, those are the teams that are eliminated. They're the ones who does not have a point. Ecuador somehow doesn't have a point, and yet they're still alive to try to make the make the knockout stage. But they got to score a point in order to win to get in. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Top 10 teams with goals. Well, of course, Germany has the most. I mean, the first game, they look like Germany. The second game, you can take for what it is, but that's Germany football. And I'm just saying this because most of the times that Germany plays the first game, they usually kill their opponent, and then the second game they kind of dip a little bit, but they could bounce back up and just kill their last opponent. Who knows? But they have the most right now. I would watch out for them. I do like the fact that this color pattern just happened out of nowhere. I didn't do this on purpose. I swear to God, I did not know about this. But Canada should be proud of themselves for the goals they made against Qatar. Norway, I honestly think they could be a dark horse to make the semifinals. I mean, just the way they have played, they look good, but their defense is a little bit sus at this point. So I just kind of be careful a little bit if they're playing against a high scoring team. Netherlands look like themselves. I think they proved that in their last game. They did not show mercy against Sweden. It was pretty bad watching, but holy crap. Netherlands look like a team that could win it all as well too. France with 6 points, but they could have scored more if it wasn't for the rain delay. Portugal came up with six. They woke up after tying against Congo after Congo made that late goal. That was a really shocking moment. US 6 points. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's be proud of ourselves for that one. This is awesome. This is awesome news to hear about them. They look pretty good. They look pretty competitive. You can say whatever you want. If you're that team who can compete against mid to lower level teams and beat the crap out of them the way they did, it shows they are no slouch. They could be one of the better US teams that we've ever watched. So, cannot wait to see how. Who cares about the last game? We'll just see how the knockout stage goes. Japan has 6 points. They're pretty disciplined. I don't think they've had a card at all. And with that being said, depending on who they play in the knockout stage, if you're that disciplined of a team and you're doing that, holy crap, they could be a surprise team to get far. And then there's Sweden with 6 points. They scored pretty much. They were one of the teams to score the most points to start out game one, and then one of the teams to give up the most points in the second game. And I felt so bad for them against the Netherlands. They're just like just reeling away, just reeling from what the hell happened. But they did play against Tunisia, and I guess Tunisia is a victim of everybody at this point. And then Argentina, 5 points. Again, all of it's Messi. So Messi being the leader in individual points, and Argentina being the team with 5 points in the top 10. I mean, something's got to give, but Messi could go on a he could go on a world record run where he carries this team with the most points while having the most individual points to get the Golden Boot. That might be a historic moment. And if they win the World Cup, I can't say Argentina is the most decorated team ever. I think the last World Cup they won was. I could be wrong. There could be other championships that Argentina had where they were the most decorated, but this won't be the most decorated team, but this is the very most decorated player at his age at this point to carry this team with all those points. That's amazing. It's literally amazing to see. And then we come across this teams that have not a lot of point. Mexico, I think they got a good defense. I think they've proven that at this point. Get better on offense, score some points, do something a little bit more creative, get a little bit more aggressive out there. Spain, of course, no points. They're pretty dangerous. Argentina is a good defensive team as well too. They have not given up a point up to this point. And then Ghana, one of the teams with just 1 point throughout this entire run of this group stage so far. But they're scrappy, they're gritty. They look like the 2010 Ghana we've watched. Holy crap! If they make it, man, oh man, watch out. They could be an underdog going into this. And then teams that are still searching for a World Cup win, Iraq, they've been here, they've been in the World Cup before, but they haven't won one. Qatar's making their second one, still trying to find a win. Haiti hasn't won one. They've been in the World Cup, but that was a long time ago. Curacao making their first appearance, trying to find one. New Zealand has been in the World Cup before, lost all their games in the first World Cup appearance, tied all their games in the next World Cup appearance, tied 4 straight times, thought they could have got a win, but ended up giving it up. So they're still trying to search for one. Cape Verde and Jordan both making appearances, trying to find their win. Congo, 2 ties. I believe first appearance. Could be wrong. We're going to find out. All right. Congo. Yeah, up to this very point, they never made the World Cup as an individual country up until that point. So they're still trying to find a win. Uzbekistan as well too, Panama as well too, and this is their second appearance in 3 World Cups. So yeah, all of them are trying to find a win. Who could get the win? Could most likely be Cape Verde. They're pretty goddamn scrappy up to this point. So they're proving they can compete. They have done it thus far. So I mean, against Saudi Arabia, they might get a dub. Who knows? New Zealand could have a chance to get in the dub, but we'll see what happens with this one. Um, I know this game three for all these games is going to be pretty damn chaotic. So I would just say just be ready to anticipate the whole entire thing. All right. That is it for my World Cup information. I feel like I've been up for a little while, so I'm gonna try to edit some of this stuff and then just get it post. Well, I'm gonna get this posted on YouTube and try to edit this stuff to get posted on my social media. But yeah, otherwise, good luck to all your teams that are still in it. And if your teams are not in it, I apologize that they didn't qualify, but just enjoy the World Cup. It's still fun. It's still entertaining to watch. And I think we all know this up to this point. And for people that got themselves into the World Cup for the first time, hey, I'm happy for you all. Enjoy it. It's fun. And if you're still able to get out to the games, I suggest going. Totally worth it. Trust me on this one. It is totally worth it. All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.